Hello, good evening. Welcome to my channel. My name is David Ukon. We have been talking about the cost of living. We are continuing with that theme, with that topic, the cost of living, because it's topical. Everyone is talking about it. And we have talked lastly about capitalism. I said capitalism is the primary cause of the cost of living, in the sense that um, capitalism actually take money from the many poor and give it to the few rich, the wealthy few. And the cost of living by default of capitalism only affects the many few, the many poor, so to speak. If you're poor, then uh, uh, you experience the cost of living if you're poor. As simple as that. Somebody else may say something else to you, but I say if you think somebody is a multimillionaire or even worth maybe tens of millions or even hundreds of millions of even hundreds of billions of US dollars, even if they spend on the basic necessities, even if they spend on the basic necessities, they are not going to experience the cost of living. So I said in the other videos, please watch them and subscribe to my channel. If you like the kind of thing I'm doing, support it and share with your friend, like it, leave a comment below, and do whatever you can to make sure the channel grow. We are just about 1 month old and we are doing well. Slow, like any other new channel, it's not an excuse. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of work to do to improve many things, and we are doing really. I'm really happy with the way things are because we have been 12 years doing nothing, and the last 1.5 months almost now, it's coming to nearly it's coming now to about 6 weeks, between 5 to 6 weeks now. This channel being active, and we chose the topic of the cost of living. When I say we, I mean you and I, people who watch the video, who support the channel, because if it was for me alone, I would still do it. I will still talk to myself, and whether people see it, watch it or not, I just to amuse myself and also to keep myself busy. I could do it, but the thing to make me do it, because I believe and know people are watching, people are viewing, people are actually following me. So that actually helps to strengthen me, to give me more motivation to carry on doing this, what I'm doing. And that's why I say our channel, it's my channel, but it's our channel because he puts more meaning. Well, we talked in the other videos about cultural economy. People live with one another peacefully. Cultural economy means the capacity for human beings to live peacefully. But you can't really say something is culture if it is a bad culture. I mean, if it is something is bad, you shouldn't call it even culture. Culture is supposed to be good because it's what sustain people positively, what feed you to be a good person, to be healthy, to be strong, to be happy. And I've always said within that topic, within that exploration, I said cultural economy, which is actually how people behave. I mean, human progress, how people think. Decision for people to be good, and as opposed to when people do bad things because they decided to do bad things. If you do bad things enough, you turn into a monster, which is now what we are seeing with capitalism. As we show it in the last video, capitalism is a very dangerous project now until we human beings decide to change it. We have the power to change it. That's why I'm trying to talk. and I'm talking because I'm optimistic. I have hope for humanity. Life is about nothing else. Life is about humanity. If there are no humans, life is irrelevant because to humans, I mean, maybe relevant to other creatures, but you are not other creatures. You are human, so you can't speak for other creatures or other things. You're human. You speak on you speak only. You can only speak for humans. Whether life is good or bad for you as a person, you are the one to talk about it because it's relevant to you. So existence at all does not make sense. It's actually existence is nothing if humans are not there because we are humans. That's why we are talking. You talk to animals, good luck. Some people are so lucky they understand what the animals are saying if they do. A lot of people claim they understand animals when they speak. We have seen it in movies, we have seen it in many things. But like I said, everyone, different people have different talents, and different individuals have different opportunities. Different people have different skills. They have different fortunes. Mm, but we have one common fortune: humanity. We are humans, so we are fortunate, and we, like I said, watch the other videos as well as what I now am recording. And if you like this video, watching it, it means most likely you are going also to like the other videos, and you can do whatever you like. You can amuse yourself watching my videos, or you can learn. You can do both. You can play. You can think. You can read. If you read, you become somebody who knows what they are thinking, who knows what you're talking about. Some people pray. Some people prayer is actually meditation. Because if you want to learn something, sometimes you have to really focus. You need to focus on that topic. Like the cost of living is affecting a lot of people. Some people are actually affected more than others. And going forward, the cost of living now is a crisis. Is going to continue, and we can only prepare for things like the cost of living and the capitalism. And like I said before, capitalism is the cause of the cause of the cost of living, and solving the cost of living for everyone. For even if you are not affected, like the rich people, rich people are millionaires and multimillionaires. If you don't work for a living, then you are not poor. You're not rich. I mean, you're not poor. If you don't work for a living, you don't need to work for a living. And if you spend money on anything, it doesn't really make you poor. That means you're rich. But for people affected with the cost by the cost of living crisis, these are the ones who, if you spend money just for normal spending on food, energy, transport, healthcare, employment, if you work, for for transport, if you pay taxes on your income tax or other form of tax, council tax is like a poll tax. It's a tax on wealth. Whether you are rich or poor, you are also required to pay these taxes. And I think it's wrong. That taxes is the only, it's the worst form of taxation the state has devised, actually, poll tax. In the UK, we call it council tax. At first, during Margaret Thatcher, former British Prime Minister, Margaret Thatcher, she introduced the poll tax, and they called it poll tax, and it creates a lot of problem for the Conservative Party and for the country. In subsequent government in the UK changed its name from poll tax to something called community charge. And the thing with the government, they try to really be clever with people. The same policy, they just rebranded the same. It actually intended to afflict financial burden on the poor. And rich people don't pay tax at all. They don't pay for anything. They get everything for free. The richer they are, the more they actually go scot-free on under every circumstances. I explained this before in the other video. Look for them. I will be trying to group them together so that people can find them easily. I'm still trying to work out how to do that. I mean, when and if the system will accept or not, because I'm still learning how to operate the YouTube system and also the videoing. I'm still not editing anything. Whatever I put there is actually what I recorded. So normally it put a lot of pressure on me because I know to say what I need to say. It's a good experience, an opportunity in itself because I have to really learn how to say things accurately the first time. Because I'm not going to, whatever I put there is going to appear. I mean, if I say something I didn't want to say, it's going to appear there. So these videos are imperfect. Take what you can take from going forward. We will improve on editorial and the cameraing, on lighting, and so forth, so on and so forth. And like I said capitalism, under capitalism, rich people don't pay for anything. The logic I put for that is that even if they, because they have a lot of money, if they pay for something, it's as if they didn't pay. God, you have so much money, you buy a chicken, a goat, or even a dog. I'm not talking about a dog. Talk about food, for example, food stuff, maybe chicken or fruit, vegetable. You pay rent, you buy a house, you buy a car. You don't feel it. It's as if you didn't even spend any money because you have so much money. Everywhere you look is money. I mean, imagine somebody with over 200 billion US dollars. Probably that's the richest person. But some family have a combination there are families with a combination of wealth in to the tune of 500 billion US dollars. See, and these are actually their net worth. There are actually money they play around with. I mean, when somebody tell you they have a net worth of $200 billion, they probably are worth potentially they could be worth $1 trillion. You know, literally, rich people travel free on. They are given special treatment. I mean, sometimes they are given tickets for free to travel in first class, in the planes, first class on the trains, and they can get anything they want. You can actually create a limousine airplane, a speedboat. I don't know if you call it a limousine or whatever. Leave a comment below and let me say. I mean, if you're a luxury truck or a van or a minibus or even a coach or a train, it's a luxury. It looks like I don't know. It looks like a 20-star hotel. The best hotels are normally 5 stars. But when these people actually, repurpose their vehicle into luxurious spaces, they are really, 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 posh. And they end up to become by default. I don't think whether they intend to rule or not, I don't think they have a plan to rule all people. But by default of capitalism, they become rulers. They become slave masters. By default of capitalism, the rest of us become slaves. I wouldn't say there's a conspiracy to enslave, but definitely there's the negligence to enslave. Because that is exactly how I see society. The relationship between the poor and the rich is slave-master relationship because we work for them. They don't do any work. What they call work is even less than child's play. In what we call play, actually, when poor people are playing, they even work harder than rich people who are working. I mean, they don't do any work. That is why they want to maintain their status. Wealth is a status symbol. to put somebody at the top. If somebody is above you, you are actually below them. They are your master. You are their slave. They literally tell you what to do. It doesn't matter how polite they are. They can say, please, can you please do this for me? They are just being nice. In essence, you cannot say no. If you say no to your master, they're going to fire you. They can. I don't think they're going to kill you. But if you speak to a dictator in Africa, even dictator in Africa, maybe a political dictator in Africa, ask you to do something for him or her, if you refuse, they'll probably shoot you dead. Because, that is what slavery means. If you're somebody's slave, you're his property. They do what they like. They can do what they like. And as they like. And so it is the case always that you have to do what you're told at work. You have to get up in the morning when you are supposed to go to work or to school or to study or at the hospital. Any institutional relationship, whether you're going to take a plane, airplane, flight, you cannot really sorry about that. I had a phone call which I don't know why somebody's trying to call me at this time. And like I said, when I said what I said, I was trying to explain to people why capitalism is a brutal force of rule. It's something I really think. I mean, people who run capitalism are not at fault. Let us be clear. They are at fault because they're humans. And they are no different from poor people, except rich people are actually horrible people because human beings are horrible at the moment. I'm not saying they're going to be horrible like that forever. That's my opinion of human beings. They're terrible species at the moment. They're so violent. Human beings are more cruel than good now. And what I would like to say, I mean, people varies. There are the individuals who are actually monsters. You meet certain people in the world today, you even begin to wonder if they're humans. You kind of think they are really some horrible aliens from the horror stories. They are really, really bad. And there are some people who are still good. There are a lot of good people, don't get me wrong. But we need to revisit our cultural estates, if you like, if you want to put it that way. We need to really revisit our cultural estate and begin to learn how to be good. As simple as that, to the extent that we turn ourselves as humans into monsters, we call each other strangers. We are not allowed to do that. And we don't even realize it. People walk like wild animals on the streets. They don't even notice. If they notice you, because they're suspicious, you're going to romp them or you're going to do something bad. And we are getting worse and worse and worse. And if we kind of like this, we are going to be so bad that everybody is going to kind of like live in a cage. If you have money, you're going to build a cage or even a tunnel underground. You dig a hole and hide in a hole, hiding from people. If you go to central London, where I live in London, in the UK, in Great Britain. If you go to central London, you see the way the buildings are constructed. They are like forts. Forts are actually they are strong buildings. They are like castles. They are built to withstand bombs and guns, and they are war building. They are forts. Forts are like bunkers. They are concrete, and they are so strong that they are designed for warfare. I mean, if Britain is fighting an enemy, they build forts so that even if you shoot at that building, it doesn't even penetrate it. So strong. It's like buttress. It's so strongly built because of war. It's a military uh um it's a military building. Cities and big institutions are built like that. Um, you can't enter in there, and there are places where there are gates. You can't enter in there. I mean, you can't go to a rich man's house with gates and with bunkers, with houses built like forts, and for, to get a cup of water, if you're thirsty, to get a cup of tea. You you cannot trespass on people. There's something called trespassing. Going into somebody else's home or space without permission, without their consent. So this is who we are. You know, we don't want people anymore. Humans are our enemies. We talk to people in structured ways. We plan to meet people. We plan meetings. We plan to talk to people, and we actually think carefully what to talk about, what not to talk about. We design plans. We actually design institutions in order to meet fellow humans, to talk to them, and we do all sorts of things. I mean, people are like robots, like machines. Life, human life is so complicated. If you see people like King Charles, people like prime ministers, people like captains of industries, CEOs of big organizations, and celebrities, superstars, movie stars, music stars, U.S. president, Russian president, Ukrainian president. Ukrainian president came to UK last week, and the securities around is attending the UK was extraordinary. I don't know the details, but you could see, you could only imagine the level of security. We are protecting him and us from humans. You think I'm lying because you don't think. You don't pay attention. If you think what I'm talking about makes sense, then you're on the right track, because people don't really realize. You walk at night on the street, you look around in fear and apprehension, not because you are afraid of wild animal or some wild dog is going to come and bite you. You're afraid of a human being. Single, lone women, elderly people, young people. You won't let your children in the dark to walk on the street. Even when you are in your house, your doors are locked. You are protecting yourself from people. In a country like Britain, that's what civilization means. It's very uncivil. And if you go to Africa today, in villages where life is still more peaceful, you find doors are open, children are left on alone at home, and nobody harm them. Nobody harms children in Africa, in some parts of Africa, not in the cities, not in where the so-called civilization is coming. I mean, in African cities, some of the most violence, some of the most violent places are in Africa, in cities and towns. And even in the UK, if you go in the village, you find people are still behaviors in. But it's just hard to say because a country like Britain is so developed. So development, which is capitalism, is synonymous with monstrosity. Everybody think about security. If you don't think of security, you can die very quickly. You think the country like Britain is peaceful. It is a very dangerous country. It is developed world are extremely dangerous. The streets are so dangerous. That's why you're supposed to be streetwise. People don't realize this until you go to places like Africa. If you're in Africa, you are actually afraid of wild animals. If you are deep in the village, you're afraid of snakes. You're afraid of lions, wolves. People actually protect themselves from wild animals. In a country like the UK, in London, I have never seen even a chicken in the city. There are no animal. Well, there could be, things like deer, and other squirrels. You see those things. You don't run away from those. And that is the evidence that is produced by capitalism. Capitalism is a system of rule. It's an economic system, yes, but it is an economic system which is actually, the purpose is actually to produce rule of the rich, rule of the poor by the rich. And whether they intend to do that or not is not clear. I don't think there's a conspiracy. I think it's just the nature of the thing. It comes with the territory. Capitalism needs treatment. I don't know if it's going to be treated because it's so advanced. Either it's going to collapse under its own weight. And if it does, we could go extinct. Because it is capitalism which keeps us, ironically. Without capitalism, we cannot survive. Because it's the only economic system locally and globally. And I said this previously in the other videos. So when I actually point out these things, how dangerous the system we created is, it doesn't mean if we remove capitalism, then we're going to solve the problem. Actually, we cannot remove capitalism. We have to work with it. And what I invite us to do is change us, because we created it. And we can also make it good. We can treat it. Because if you create something, you have if you create, because capitalism is not a bad thing. It creates wealth. But you see, it's bad because people want to rule over one another. If it was a different economic system, say socialism or communism, it would probably even be worse than capitalism. Because rule is the problem. You see, the cancer affecting any political and economic system, any human system created with power, is infected because of the behavior of humanity. Humans want to rule over one another. And you may not believe me, but that is the only problem. The only problem, rule. The problem with politics and economy, with power, is rule. The day people learn or unlearn the desire to rule over one another, that is the day we will experience peace. If we don't do that, every attempt to achieve peace is futile. It's not going to work. We can talk as much as we like. We can do as much politics as we want. We can create as much wealth as wealth will not bring peace. Politics will not bring peace. The only thing which will stop actually with the war is the desire to be rulers, to rule. Everybody is actually it's one of the problem. People want to rule because they were thieves. They have no respect. If you're a thief, if you're a murderer, if you're cruel, if you are actually nasty, you create problem, and you have to create more problem, and more problem actually acquire power to cover your illegality, to cover your trail. That's how capitalism was created, because of violence, because of corruption. It wasn't something dignified. It was actually very crude. And we were living like wild animals. Something resembling the Wild West. Nothing personal against the West. But that's what we did. That's what we are doing now. Look at Ukraine. Look at Russia. Humans don't behave like Russia. Humans don't behave like Ukraine. Ukraine blame Russia, but they are fighting. They are at war. I don't know why they are fighting. The Western world, Britain, is supporting Ukraine. But don't take my word for it, because politicians are they're very, really, I don't even know what to say about politicians. Because Britain can be the #1 enemy of Russia today. Tomorrow, the same Britain can change. Just tomorrow, literally tomorrow, they will be shaking hands with Russians. Best friends. You see, It is the kind of friendship I would say you can rely on. But I would say, I would prefer to have a long-term friend. I mean, you can't be my friend today and tomorrow you are my enemy. But I still rely on you because that is what I get. But I would prefer a friend who is with me. I can depend on such a friend. You're not my friend today and tomorrow. You don't even know my name. You talk to me as if I'm a total stranger. Yesterday, we even had dinner together. We were actually like, wow, these people are inseparable. And all of a sudden, the next day, we don't even talk to each other. What kind of friendship is that? So, I'm going to stop this video here. I'm going to record the next one. I'm just concluding about talking about capitalism, but I will be mentioning it going forward because I will still be talking about cost of living. I will be talking about different topics to try and explain the cost of living. Subscribe to my channel, support my channel, share it with your friends and family, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.